basically the British are optimistic, right? But they're optimists who see reality for what it is. Right? So they're basically realists, right? So optimism in English terms is actually realism, whereas optimism in American terms is like, yeah, baby, we can do this. Am I right?
Yeah.
So American optimism tends to be really over the top and unrealistic. And the British optimism called realism is a little bit more like pessimism. Am I making it up?
Yeah.
Okay. So what the neuroscience actually supports, unfortunately, is that, yeah, baby, right? And you can see it, I tell you what, you can see it in athletics. If anybody knows. You can see it in athletics. And, 2012 was great for this country, not to get on, but it was great because you could see the athletes really stepped up. But why? Because they started to believe, because of the crowd. But let's just be honest. Before that, you could just see some British athletes giving up. Am I making that up? Right. Whereas you can see American athletes going, or Usain Bolt, he's all like, right? But he wins. So the neuroscience actually supports a kind of fake it till you make it. That's why try is really important. If you try to be positive, even though it hurts the English. Painful. Oh, I gotta be positive. Right? As opposed to polite. There's a difference between being positive and polite. Right? But if you really try, if you really make an effort, if you get anything out of the day, making an effort to see something positively actually helps to rewire your brain. Right? So when you look at that definition of resilience, and here's the other, maintaining calm, do you mind if I open? There we go. Maintaining calm, clarity, resourcefulness whilst under pressure, you can kind of see based on what I just shared why that would be. Can you see that? Because it's down to neuroscience. It's down to literally you train your brain to be able to deal with adversity, right? Because you've got neurons that are sort of standing at the ready for when adversity happens. That's plus or minus correct. Yes.
So basically what you're saying is the way we think shapes our experiences. And if
Absolutely.
we think positively, then 9 times out of 10 will be positive.
Absolutely. So here we go. Let me see. I think that slide is on here. Right. So there's a slide here that goes, we're going to flip around here. This slide here. What you focus on influences. It's called self-directed neuroplasticity. These don't have page numbers, but check that one. Right. Yeah. This is an actual neuroscience term. So what you just described is self-directed neuroplasticity. What you focus on affects your brain. It's that simple. So if you want to focus on a negative attitude, i.e. the nose of the plane is going down, guess what's going to happen? Right, exactly. You're more likely to be pessimistic. You're more likely, and by the way, you're going to see another slide. I'll show you that later. Research shows that people who are pessimistic also tend to come from environments or suffer from something called learned helplessness. Right? Anybody heard that term before? Yep. What's learned helplessness?
It's where you've convinced yourself you can't do something.
There you go. Right? So that's the athletes who just, they just don't believe in themselves, maybe. Or the people who just don't make it. They keep trying and trying and trying, but they just don't make it.
But I was thinking, where is the dividing line between that and sort of healthy skepticism? Because if you are over-positive, you say yes to anything, which is not really achievable.
Yeah. Okay, now I am going to find that slide. Let's see here. Sorry about this. You're all right if I do. Okay. Let's see. Here we go. So it says optimism and pessimism. Did that one? Optimism, pessimism? Right. So this is all based on, you're going to learn what allocentric and egocentric is in there. So what is it? What is healthy skepticism? That's the question, right? So what do you think it is?
Well, I was thinking more in terms of if you set yourself too high, well, you need to set challenging goals.
Right.
But they must be realistic.
Yes.
So being too positive about everything. can
Or
sort
you
of
might
lead-
take on too much. And
Yeah.
try and do everything.
So healthy skepticism is sort of knowing what's achievable, but challenging.
Okay, that's good. That's good. That's the knowing what's achievable, but also challenging. So knowing what I can accomplish, what's realistic, and what might be a little too much.
Yeah.
Good, good. Anyone else want to jump in on that? Any other ideas?
I was just thinking about it, that sometimes you feel you're at a crossroad. You have a situation and you're like, okay, and you can almost, well, I don't know if it's just me, but you can almost think, okay, I could either go this way, nose up, or nose down.
Right.
But sometimes, even though you know from experience it's better to have a positive attitude and get a better outcome, sometimes you can't help yourself going down, and you can even analyze what's going on and realize you're in this negative loop and know that if you were positive it would be better, but somehow you still can feel stuck on that thing.
Brilliant. You're going to know exactly what happens in your brain. I mean, absolutely exactly what happens. Right? So I'm going to offer a reframe here to this healthy skepticism concept. So we talked about you have your nose is up or your nose is down. Positive attitude, negative attitude. Okay, so another distinction is problem focus or solution focus. Are you focused on the problem or are you focused on the solution? Research in cognitive behavioral therapy tends to support that if you're focused on the solution, you can have healthy skepticism, but your focus is on the solution. It's not on the problem. Why does that make sense? I see that's not. Why is that sensible? Why does that fit?
Because that shifts the focus to, this is, I don't have control of external factors, but
Yes.
I can control how I am going to approach it. So let's now look at what I'm going to do about it.
Great idea. So you'll learn about that. I'll talk about internal focus versus external focus. But basically, yeah, you're focused on what you can control. Does that make sense, Mr. Healthy Skepticist? I'm sorry. I don't know your name, so we don't know. It is that's right. Is that H?
Yes, I think